Taylor Swift is now at the peak of her career, with 2 albums released just this year, 3 hours concerts, new boyfriend, and songs charting so hard on the Billboard that she decided to branch out to the movie business with the Eras Tour concert movie. She's a mastermind when it comes to being successful. The movie has now grossed over $250 million, with fans around the world dying to experience Eras Tour with Taylor Swift 15 feet in front of them in IMAX, which arguably makes this one of the greatest movie events of the year, quite literally comparable to Barbenheimer during the summer. So what is going on? I had to see it for myself, and I was surprised. I walked out the theater as a fan. Her stage presence alone is just so infectious. The production design, her costumes are insane, and just 3 hours of fun. But most importantly, the thing that I realized is that she's not just a great artist, but a great filmmaker and a businesswoman, and an absolute genius when it comes to marketing. You see, Taylor Swift has been taking the world by storm with her Eras Tour, with now an estimated earning of $1 billion, which is projected to make $5.7 billion by the end of her tour. And she's not even halfway through her tour yet, and tickets have sold out worldwide. So because of that, Taylor of course wanted all her fans to have a chance to see her, so she made the Eras Tour concert movie. But in classic Taylor Swift fashion, her movie had to be distributed in style. Normally, movie producers will recruit a big name studio for marketing and distribution in exchange for a large cut of the movie's earning. But allegedly, when Taylor approached the studios, she didn't like their high demand, so Taylor and her parents completely cut them off of the deal and went directly to AMC with a 50-50 split deal instead, because she knew she could market the movie better herself, or absolutely no marketing at all, and make it the way she wanted. This is huge, not just for music artists, but filmmakers as well, and potentially a game changer for film distribution. Even Christopher Nolan, the king himself, came out as a Swiftie and praised her for bypassing big studios to distribute her movie. This is a way of seeing things and sharing stories or sharing experiences that's incredibly valuable. And if the studios don't want it, somebody else will. That is indeed very true. And he also added, there's always the tension in Hollywood between the familiar and what is predicted to make money. And that's the meat and potatoes of how the studios stay in business. But there's always this desire among audiences for something new, something fresh. There he made a really good point. The movie business needs to change. In this world full of soulless reboots, sequels of reboots, CGI spectacles, like Nolan said, we are in need of something fresh. And Barbie, Oppenheimer, and the Eras Tour completely fits into this narrative, because they are original IPs made by independent filmmakers and artists, and they're genuinely fun to watch. And these films emerging as blockbusters are just a testament to that. Maybe cinema is still alive. And of course, Hollywood are completely on board with Barbie and Oppenheimer, because they are making bank, but not so much of Taylor Swift. They are furious because she cut out Hollywood distributors from the deal and could potentially pose a threat to the producer, distributor, exhibitor structure. Look, haters gonna hate, but really the system that big studios have built all these years have been declining recently, losing billions. Look what happened. Studios are cutting costs for productions. It would be such a shame to sell something this valuable away to studios, knowingly that they will 100% capitalize off of your work and just own 80% of the movie just to produce more shit movies. Call her a capitalist all you want, but who's the real capitalist here, right? Like, even if you're a diehard Swift hater, you just have to respect that, because it's the most punk shit, the biggest FU I've seen all year, especially if you're the biggest pop star in the world and everyone is just after you. It's really refreshing to see people this huge in the industry taking a stance for once. Like, one thing Taylor Swift has taught us throughout her career is that there are no rules when it comes to being successful. There's no system that you have to follow. You could do whatever you want, says by the woman who literally rebranded herself countless amount of times, from Tim McGraw country music to making the pop bible to indie folk and alternative rock, and just like, you know, casually re-record all her old albums just to gain ownership back. Grammys after Grammys, and went from dating London boys to footballers. A little character development. Okay, maybe that's a bit much, but again, it's not just about the money for her, right? It's about that ownership, owning that artistry. That's what makes art so valuable in the first place. You know, when I first learned about what Taylor's version actually means, it really does give me hope. The music industry is absolutely brutal. I was shocked at how little control artists actually have over their work. You'll be surprised that most artists don't actually own their masters of the songs. Justin Bieber doesn't, Ariana Grande doesn't, Elvis didn't, and since Taylor started doing the whole thing with Swift gaining ownership back from her quote-unquote stolen albums, more artists starting to speak out about this. Olivia Rodrigo, who invaded my football game the other day, owns her masters, Sour and Guts, and many others as well have successfully at least bought their rights back. And the same goes for the movie business. Studios own most of the rights to the movies. Most of the revenue from the box office doesn't go to the filmmakers, but the studios. Not to mention how little creative control the writers and directors actually have on the movies. Only big filmmakers like Nolan and Scorsese get to have complete control at this point. And what Taylor did here just shows us that the industry is evolving in a good way, and that there's a new way to showcase art. This is especially huge for independent filmmakers. Let's say Greta Gerwig, who made Barbie recently, and be like, you know what, Warner Bros, I'm gonna take this money and go back to making somewhat indie coming of age movies and sign a good deal with AMC. Frick your stupid Barbie sequels. I'm in my Reputation era. Barbie 2 is not confirmed yet, but it's likely happening, and it would be such a misstep if Greta did take that franchise route, because in my opinion, her movie shines best when it's the most genuine, and she completely has the ability to do so, especially with the name she has made herself now. Fund her own movie, complete creative control, instead of selling more of her valuable ideas to Hollywood, which they're clearly trying to push an agenda with. I mean, this is also why we all love A24 so much, right? The fact that they let independent filmmakers go absolutely nuts in their creative process and make the most absurd movies ever, while also being so genuine and staying true to their ideas. It's really exciting to see art house studios like this become more mainstream in these past years. They recently announced that they're going to be expanding their production since they are starting to profit. Like, how exciting is that? If we need anything right now in this climate of entertainment, it's more A24 movies. And with this new business model that Taylor Swift has been promoting, more and more artists can seriously benefit from this, promoting more actual cinema and more independent creators out there that really don't get enough credit for their work. And I'm talking musicians as well with concert movies, since it's now proven to be a new leeway to showcase their work and talent. I mean, people are starting to do it. Beyonce is going to be having her concert movie soon, same with Taylor, distributed through AMC. And honestly, I'm just really glad that Taylor brought back the whole genre of concert movies, because they're just genuinely good old fun. It's exactly what we all need. Like, I have to admit, I've never felt so much joy watching a movie recently. There's one moment during 1989, my mind completely went back to December 2014, the greatest year of pop music. Ariana Grande, One Direction, Maroon 5, Coldplay. I was probably 10, watching Blank Space music video, and like Taylor Swift just smashing the car on a horse. Like, it just made me nostalgic for a second and think, like, what happened to pop music? What happened to good entertainment? What happened to art that makes us feel something? Nowadays, it's almost a myth that anything remotely mainstream could be any good aside from maybe a couple projects here and there. Just ask yourself, do you even go to the cinema anymore? Do you even bop to a 2023 pop song that's properly written and produced? Nothing gets us excited. The entertainment industry has been very dry lately, and that's also one of the reasons why we turn to indie artists now, right? The rise of indie artists in just these few years is very much real. It's honestly becoming mainstream. Like, I can name a whole bunch just off the top of my head. Some might even say Phoebe Bridgers is the new Taylor Swift, which I kinda agree. Punisher is really good. And it's the same with A24 indie movies that I just talked about. Everything Everywhere was a rare cultural phenomenon. Even though I didn't like it as much as the others, I still very much respect it. I really do. And the idea of something being self-produced nowadays is honestly quite refreshing. Countless actual talented artists have gone mainstream through social media. Like, literally, YouTubers are making movies now. And this is really a great sign that the entertainment industry is at least somewhat evolving, turning away of what used to work and give us what we actually want. Bring back more concert movies. I want to see Coldplay on IMAX, and maybe older artists like Michael Jackson on his tour, or Bruce Springsteen for the old souls. Like, how cool would that be for people to relive that experience again? And if anything that Taylor Swift is showing us is doing this at the biggest scale possible, showing everyone how it's done. And that, I think, deserves to be respected and appreciated. But of course, someone like Taylor Swift is very easy to be hated on. Backlashes from literally anyone except the Swifties. Either you have something wrong with her being basic, or her fan base, which you know is fair based on the wild stuff I've seen. But I don't think you should hate on Taylor Swift as an artist. In my eyes, she's nothing but a talented artist with a relentless work ethic, so dedicated to her craft and her brand, incredible storytelling skills, great singer, and her ability to handle hate and write from the heart, and dropping nothing but bangers for 10 years straight. I've revisited her entire catalog of music music after the movie, and I was very surprised on how much she's grown as an artist and how much I've grown up as well. The pen game in her recent albums are off the charts. Every time I hear Anti-Hero on the freaking radio, I stare directly at the sun but never in the mirror. Like, that's such a bar. The whole Folklore album really convinced me that she could write a book overnight. And of course, with that, I think it's about time that she makes an actual narrative movie. With the incredible storytelling skills and genius business tactics and the amount of inspiration accumulated all these years, I think she'll be great as a director and writer. In this interview with Martin McDonagh, which by the way is super fascinating, she did say she'll make a movie in the future, which is confirmed to be true. She signed a deal with Searchlights. I'm excited. She should make all too well 100-minute version. But again, maybe she needs a break after all the 3-hour concerts and peaking her career so hard. If anything she's shown us this year after all the success is that she and her team are obviously doing something right. Not just changing Hollywood, but the whole entertainment industry in general in a good way. And I think that's something to look up to. Not to idolize, but to see as an inspiration, whether you're a fan or not. I think there's something we can all learn from Taylor Swift, who I think now lives up to one of the greatest success stories of our generation. Thanks for watching. Subscribe because this took me so long to make.